extra tissue and stuff. So this side, where it closes over.
I've gotten quite a few already.
Yeah, it's cool.
Y'all can see my finger. My finger's in there.
Carly, I've been having a lot of fun while you were here.
So like on your windpipe here, you can feel the cartilage rings. That's what these are. That's this to make it stiff and hard. So in
This
a
is what you
human,
look at when you intubate.
yeah. So
for
in a
the mouth.
human, you know, we only have to go yay far to get a tube in, so we can breathe. Obviously, this is way
We don't have
over there.
anything this big.
So we did a trach on it, and that is where you go in between these two rings into the soft tissue to put that piece in. And so they can show you how it breathes. And we had to block, so we had to like make it act like the cow was choking on something, and so we couldn't perform mouth-to-mouth resuscitation because there's an occlusion in there, so we had to do a trach. And that's how they're gonna make it breathe.
Oh, of course.
Its lungs are gonna move.
Lakin. Lakin.
She's up, I'm sneaking around.
Give me the
Can I sneak behind
forceps,
you?
Cammy.
Sure.
It's a full-on procedure now.
Yeah,
play
now
with
it's
the cow.
choked to death.
Now you've just guaranteed its death.
It's for sure dead.
Got
There's
him?
no saving him now.
Oh, we'll save it. You don't understand.
It took us a lot.
We have mad skills around here.
Yes.
Yeah, we had to use
That's what just fell through.
Did you get it?
Well, I don't know. You left me.
I'm sorry, I had to go check on my children.
Oh, mine's at home dying of a fever. Yours will be fine.
Thanks, Miranda.
All right.
This works
Do
better
you
than
need
I
two
like.
people? I don't know. It's leaking.
It did work like 30 minutes ago. I
It really
promise.
did.
She
It
watched
really
it.
did.
It worked.
It really did. It did. The first thing we did didn't work though.
So, the cow, a pig is more anatomically correct to a human. Okay. Take that and squeeze it really hard. Keep squeezing. See? See those lungs moving? They're not going to move a lot because we're trying to inflate. Keep going.
You don't see as much
It's just like a
movement
movement.
in this one because that bag is designed for a human. So a human's lung volume is
feel the
about
resistance?
a third of a cow's.
Who else wants to squeeze the cow?
Touch its lungs, it's really fun.
It's like cold but warmer.
And like there's like 3 pieces.
Don't you want to touch it, JD?
No.
I'm not sure he even wants
You're
to
getting
eat.
a lot more resistance because I'm occluding the airway.
I gotta touch all this stuff.
Who wants to?
Anybody else want to squeeze?
It smells disgusting.
If I was to work at the hospital, I think administration's the place I'd want to be.
You just want a candy bar,
Really?
don't you?
Because you know what? If it is crazy enough in here and we have a code and there's no one else in here, guess who else has to come into the code? Administration is not immune to it. Kitchen has to come help in a code.
It's cool.
Housekeeping.
Stick your hand inside of the heart. There's like like open it a little. Yeah.
So let's
This, and then hey, if you push on this, guys, you push on the vein and the blood moves up and down the heart. If you push on this, you could get blood.
I was so excited.
Yay for cows!
It was a black colored cow. If anyone wants.
Funny, why don't you have one of these?
you want to mention the Carly?
Baby. Oh, cool. What is that?
Scaffold never would have
Sweet.
You're trusting
You're slicing in
Carly out of everyone
You're slicing in the
with a scalpel.
Carly,
the slices at this side.
Okay. Take that and just slice right there.
Okay. Want to slice it?
Just a big good. Keep
Keep
going
going.
so you can.
Down deep.
Gotta get in there, Carly.
He's getting in there, all right.
There you go.
Well, not
Now
these.
see, now let's try ventilating and see what's gonna happen.
I hope it squirts someone.
I was gonna say, Carly, you might want to move. You might get blood in the face.
See how it's not even moving at all now?
Because you opened it.
That would be like what would happen if you got punctured with a lung or a rib.
It would cut your lung.
It would cut your lung like that. If you were in a car accident and you had a broken rib, that could very be a real possibility.
So then what do you do?
They would have to have surgery to go in and have that repaired.
Does the other lungs keep working?
The other
or?
lung would keep working. It would
Okay.
take over.
I was gonna say, do you just die then?
Would that like
No.
affect the brain anyway? Not having.
You know, your body does a very good job of protecting the main parts of your body, your brain and your heart. Those are the things that it's going to protect the first. So then that's why in an emergency situation, you're going to see that your fingers and your toes are going to turn blue because it's going to stop
Not important at all.
giving the blood to those parts of your body.
That somebody's just carving in this.
No, I'm following the line. Guys, you don't understand how excited that they're cool this is to me.
So this is a very big scale, which kind of works because you have a lot of people in here to kind of see what's going on. And that, but we're not ever going to really see in the emergency room this, but you're going to get to see some trauma, and this kind of lets you know what's going on inside of the body. Did you guys all see the heart?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
This has all the fat and stuff around it. Down there we have the pericardial sac is around that heart. It's still a little frozen because it just came out of the deep freeze yesterday. No fooling.
I was scraping out the frozen blood out of there, guys. That's pretty legit.
Get your hands dirty. Touch it. How often are you going to get to touch the inside?
You're all right?
So here on the
I forget you guys don't touch my face with it.
She's a bear.
All right, so here on the heart, this is the right atria, and because the front part has the thinnest muscle, and this is the left, and it has the thick, hard muscle. So the blood comes into the right atria from the inferior and superior vena cava, comes into the right atria, goes through the tricuspid valve. These are the Purkinje fibers. They are what control the valves and stuff. The SA node in this little divot here in the heart on the side, that's the SA node, and that is the first electrical impulse connection of the heart, and then it goes through to the AV node, which is located down in here under these Purkinje fibers. The inside of the cardiac tissue it's a smooth muscle. It's an involuntary muscle. It's controlled by your brainstem and stuff. So comes in here, goes down into the ventricle, goes out through the pulmonary artery to the lungs, goes in through the lungs down into the capillary where blood and oxygen exchange occurs. And so now the blood becomes oxygenated because when it comes into the right, it's inoxygenated. Comes back into the left, through here, except which this side's really, really frozen, so I couldn't get it open and stuff. And then it goes down through the left ventricle, through the mitral valve. Because the left ventricle has so much muscle and it pumps the hardest, because once it goes down in through the left atria, down into the left ventricle, and then out through the aortic branches to all the places in the body, this muscle works so hard. The mitral valve is the first valve that usually suffers damage. Right now you can have mitral valve replacement. They can use mechanical valves, little metal pieces, or they use pig valves.
Not cows.
not cows, no, pigs are more. This right here is the pericardial sac. The heart is covered in this sac. It has cardiac fluid in here. When you get an inflammation of this sac, in between the sac and the rib cage and everything else in there, that's called pericarditis. When you get an infection in the inside where this fluid is, it actually puts pressure on the heart, and it's called cardiac tamponade. It actually can cause the heart to stop beating.
And you ask, why is it important to know the conductivity? Those are things that you actually know on the EKG, and you can know where the different heart attacks, where you're having heart damage at. So when you're reading a 12-lead EKG, it's important to know what part of the heart is being affected. You just think, oh, they're having a heart attack. Well, no, it's important to know which part of the heart it is, because that means what kind of intervention are they going to do. Are they going to need to do what they call the cath flow? Are they going to do a stenting? So really knowing the conductivity of the heart and where the electrical activity is when you're reading a 12-lead EKG is really important, not just because somebody decided that it was important to figure out all the electrical activity in it.
And that's-
So,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Cammie, you mentioned the SA node. Can you tell them the function of the SA node?
That's the first electrical impulse site of the heart that stimulates this portion, the right atria, to beat, and then it travels through down to the AV node, which is down in here, which stimulates the right ventricle to beat. And when it comes back, the left functions on its own because it's goes out to the body. On the heart, there's these veins and stuff. When you have a heart attack, an MI, myocardial infarct, which is where one of these veins gets blocked off, anything down in here is a first degree block. Anything up here and the bigger is a second degree. Anything back in the higher portions is a third degree. Fourth degree block is usually what they call the widowmaker. That is this big vein that circles the back portion of the heart. Any portion that gets clotted off here, this entire portion of the muscle dies. That kills off your left ventricle, and that's. We have
Not good.
medication. We have medications. TNK, Sactaplace. It's called a clot buster. When you give it to them, it breaks every blood clot they have. If they have an ulcer, it can cause an ulcer to bleed. If they've been in a trauma or something, fell down, hit their head because they were having a heart attack, maybe they have a little concussion, it can cause a brain bleed. It can actually cause people to have cry blood when it breaks up blood clots.
So when they do a heart bypass,
Mhm.
what do they do?
They
to the
take
heart?
they strip the veins from your leg to replace in your heart.
So then,
So then you have poor circulation in your legs, but they've saved your life with your heart.
So it's like
Do your veins like eventually grow back?
Nope.
If you're young enough?
Your body will redirect the blood flow, but you cannot regrow.
It's called collateral blood flow. But so, if you want to see into the heart, you can actually see where all of the veins and stuff go, where they go in and out.
Yep, that's a
You can
pulmonary
follow them, the
vein.
Purkinje fibers.
I opened up
You
a
can see how smooth the tissue is, and some lovely, wonderful frozen cow blood.
And that was bleeding suffocation.
Yep.
And if you take the bottom, and actually, I think it might be thawed out enough if you take the bottom and squeeze it. There is still some blood in it. You can see the blood in some of the veins.
Touch it. Some blood right here if you guys want to from this.
I'll have more fun wiping my clean glove on someone.
No,
That's
she just cut into
consequences.
I can cut into the bottom to see the sacs. It's just too.
Mrs. Fetty. Mrs. Fetty. Mrs. Fetty.
I'm so interested, I just started cutting things.
I don't know. I don't do.
Look at this. This is awesome, guys.
No one else is excited.
That's because no one else is.
So if you go hunting, when you take out everything, you want to get it all in one piece so it doesn't make a mess.
Yeah, I don't hunt.
I cut this in half.
And cows are really, really fat when they go to slaughter because,
This is blood broth.
yeah, because fat cows make lovely, wonderful marbled meat.
I don't see.
Here, let me see.